if you really want to go past that, you've got to hire one or two PTs, right? And now you've got to manage people, that had nothing, wait a minute, that has nothing to do with marketing.
Hey, this is Paul Gough. Welcome to another episode of the Paul Gough podcast and audio experience, where we talk to amazing PTs in the community who are doing everything they can to get out of the 9 to 5 of the treatment room. In today's episode, today's very special guest is none other than, can I call you an OG? You've got to be an OG. Yeah, she's got to be an OG of the Planet Paul community. Carrie of beautiful Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Welcome.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Good. Tell us a little bit about your story for people who don't know you.
Oh gosh, we were just talking about this. So I've been with you almost 10 years. I took the very first course of yours back in April of 2016. And it was because I had actually moved here from Washington, D.C., restarted my cash-based practice, but in a town where I didn't know anyone. So that's why I started following you, because I needed to learn how to do marketing and sales and literally get patients. Kind of did that on my own for about 2 years, got to the point where I was starting to see, 20 to 25 patients a week. But I kind of looked at myself and said, oh, I don't think I want to do this forever until I'm 60. So then I said, could I scale? What does that even look like? And fast forward, that's when I found one of your courses. I don't even know if you offer anymore. It's called Business Growth School.
It was a good one.
It was a great one.
As many careers.
It's still one of my favorites. And a few months later, signed my first lease. And 2 offices later, I'm going to celebrate 10 years next year.
So the bit that's of interest to me in all of that story, we'll get into the specifics of your business, but I always remember I'm moving from DC to Portsmouth, completely different city. Big cosmopolitan, supposedly money moving around there. Probably in most people's eyes, a hell of a lot easier to build a business where there might be money flowing in somewhere like DC than a small town in New Hampshire. How was that transition? What was going through your head at that time?
Yeah, I don't know what was going through my head, but
Didn't somebody tell you that cash pay wouldn't work in Portsmouth?
Yes, absolutely. So before I kind of knew about you, I, followed all the advice. I went to the Small Business Association. They have coaches there.
All of the bad advice.
Yes. And they did say, oh, I don't think this is going to work. And just about everyone I talked to, because I was the only one doing that in my town or in Portsmouth at the time. There's people who are doing it now, but yeah, people said it wasn't going to work. But I luckily had the experience of knowing it could work in a place like DC. And there was just no going back for me. I'd rather just get a job or do something totally different, but there was no way for me. I was going to run an insurance-based practice. It sounded like a nightmare to me. So I just got to figure out a way.
So what did you do? What was the first move that you made? I remember speaking to you at the time. Were you thinking about getting into business with somebody, but you ended up doing it on your own? What was that first sort of year or two like? Tell me about that.
Yeah, so the first year or two, before I even thought about getting in my own office, I did all the things. I networked a ton. I was just out meeting as many people as I could. Believe it or not, I flew back to DC once a month and treated all my old patients there to kind of make a little bit of money. So I didn't feel like I was totally useless. Yeah, it took a while. And then I'd say around 7-8 months in, I always had that analogy of I was planting all the seeds, and then they just started to sprout around 7-8 months in, and all of a sudden patients were wanting to work with me. So that was the first 2 years. And then when I thought about getting out of the room I was renting, I just did not think I could do it by myself. I had 0 business skills. At the time, I didn't know anyone that was truly doing it alone. Everyone I sort of knew either had a spouse working with them or a partner or, and I just, in my world, I just did not think it was possible. And then luckily you told me differently and I did it and I've been doing it.
It's interesting because you hit the nail on the head. The problem with us as business owners, we start and we're on our own constantly. And it's the biggest challenge that people, I think it either makes you or it breaks you as a business owner. You've either got very comfortable with the isolation and the loneliness and the almost echo chamber of your own thoughts and your own thinking and whether or not those things are right. And you find a tribe and you find a coach and you find a network and you find mentors and so on, and you make it through basically, or you don't and you stay isolated. Talk to me about the decision. So you've obviously now gone past $1 million in cash pay business, right? That's wonderful. We'll come on to that further down the line. Go back to that first 0 to 300 grand. I'm going to ask you specifically between starting the business and $300,000. What were the specific problems and challenges that you faced, and what were your solutions at that time? I mean,
getting clients obviously is probably number one, and then keeping clients is probably number two, with probably the two biggest things, and then honestly just kind of figuring out what you stand for, like, you know, what is this thing called a marketing message, and how do you clarify it? What do your prices actually need to look like? You know, oh gosh, I think within those first 3 years, I remember when you did your first sales boot camp, I must have raised my rates like 4 times in a year, because I needed to. I wasn't where I needed to be to. Then you start to think, oh, I might want to hire someone. Oh, wait, I can't afford it because I don't make enough money. So those are kind of the things that I wouldn't say I was thinking about them. These were all things I had to figure out, because you don't know what you need to think about in those first few years.
I think the best advice, I remember when we had Kevin O'Leary for one of our events. You remember Kevin? He spoke about 2 things, I'll never forget it, that the most important 2 decisions you'll ever make in a business is who's the customer and what are you going to charge. And the latter is affected by the former. With that in mind, go back to marketing message. Talk to me about the importance of marketing message. If there's somebody watching this today who's just saying, what the hell is this marketing message? You know, I'm stuck somewhere in between 100 grand, 200 grand in annual revenue. What difference does Carrie a marketing message make? Like, tell me more about that.
I mean, principally, the biggest thing I learned that I haven't forgotten and I will never forget is, you know, you sell by the who, you marketing to a person. You don't market, you don't market the Pilates, you don't market the physical therapy. Mm-hmm. So that was number one. And then in terms of, you know, clarifying our message, I didn't quite know exactly who I wanted to work with, but pretty quickly I followed a lot of like kind of how your model was, and just treating people that were a little bit older who were now realizing, oh wow, this health thing is real, and I actually don't need to spend my money on all these other things anymore. I actually want to put it toward my health, and just finding those people quickly became sort of my avatar and who I was looking for.
Physios often make the mistake of marketing to who the person is now. And that's tend to be what you find, the market to who the person is now. And yet a really good marketing message that helps a business grow is often talking to who the person wants to become. And that's the way I've tried to always understand it whenever I'm building anything or selling anything or advertising anything. The typical clinic or the typical business talks about who that person is today, and they get a certain amount of money for that. But a marketing message, and a good one, talks about who that person aspires to become, whether it's fitter, stronger, faster, stuff that we've been talking about today, with arriving at 60, feeling 40 with energy and vitality. And that marketing piece there is often the difference between $100, $300 or $400, and sometimes a struggling 200 grand clinic from a $1.2 million clinic.
And even in my world, back into those early years, just a simple thing like, hey, I'm not marketing pain relief, just something like that. Like the person who I wanted to work with didn't just want their pain gone, even though that might be what they thought they wanted. Mm-hmm. They want to keep their pain gone, and they want to, you know, not have to deal with this problem anymore. So even just like that subtle difference was some things I had to learn.
What about the journey you've been on with prices in that first? What was the lessons there?
I'm gonna say this wrong, but you know, you have to price for the business you want, and price for. If you want, you have to price appropriately so you can hire the people that you want and need in your business to deliver those services too. And then it's just kind of keep. My philosophy was always, well, I can always go back down, and I've never had to go back down. Yeah. So that just push the needle, and to this day, I've never had a problem raising prices.
So between $0 and $300,000, what would you say are the 3 most important things somebody needs to focus on?
marketing, specifically clarifying your message. And when I say marketing, I don't even necessarily mean all the fancy stuff.
Yep.
Just simple. For me, I've always advocated like writing.
Yes.
Writing emails, writing blogs, because at the very least, you learn how to speak better. You taught me that, and it was something I learned. And then later down the line, when you do need content, you've got a whole bunch of it. So definitely marketing, clarifying your message, and just getting out there, meeting people. You have the time. Like, people have to learn who you are. You got to get your face in front of people. So, I mean, grassroots kind of stuff. That's the stuff I advocate starting out.
Yep.
For sure.
What else? Two more.
Get your prices right.
Yes.
Obviously. Yeah. Get your prices right. They're probably 3 times higher than you think they should be, would be what I would say.
Yeah, they could be. Yeah.
But at least twice, at least double what most people think they should start with. You probably should just times it by 2. And then you'll probably be scared to do that. So just maybe go down a little bit, but times it by 2. You might as well.
Yeah.
And then third, I'm trying to think. Marketing, clarify your message, get your prices right. And I don't want to say hustle, because that's such a bad thing.
I don't know. I know, I get it, right?
You got to do the thing.
100% agree. And that's why I like to, when we have these discussions, we talk about the phases. I think in the first 2 years of running a business, it is hustle, it is hard work, it is 18-hour days. It is like, you basically kiss goodbye to your social life, your friends, and you basically tell your parents you'll see them in about 3 years when you come out of the time kind of warp that you're going to go into, because you know that there's inevitability to that. Yeah. I think where that gets confused is if you're still doing that 5 years later, there's something wrong fundamentally with the business. If in 5 years I'm still doing 18, 19-hour days.
Right. I think the hustle never leaves you, but it looks dangerous as you grow. And that's what I've realized. Like, I never want to do that again, but I had to do it in the first 3 years.
Hey, this is Paul. Hope you are enjoying today's episode. Just a quick note to say thank you to one of my favorite partners, PT Everywhere, who have kindly sponsored the show. They allow me to get this podcast to more people around the world so that we can impact more lives. PT Everywhere is your number one choice for EMR. If you are looking for more efficiency in your admin, in your calendar, in your optimization of your staff, and ultimately an all-round easier way to make money using the best practice management software, EMR on the planet, it is PT Everywhere, pteverywhere.com. You don't get to 300 grand without hard work, but equally, you probably don't get to $1 million if all you're doing is hard work.
Right.
So we leave the fun. I think the fun phase, the Disneyland fantasy phase of building a business is not to 300 grand.
Yeah.
And we enter no man's land. We've crossed $300,000 and we're trying to get to $1 million. Talk to me about that experience.
Biggest learning phase, least favorite phase probably, but most rewarding phase when I look back. How about that? But it's oh wow, I actually need these things called people.
Yes.
These people to help you go. You might have maybe an admin, maybe another person in that first, but then if you really want to go past that, you've got to hire 1 or 2 PTs, right? And now you've got to manage people, that has nothing to do with marketing. This is a whole new skill set. So the next phase is learning what I would call true business skills. The big ones for me were finance. Like, yeah, okay, now I got my prices right. Where's the money going?
How's it going?
You mean I have to track it? What's this P&L thing you're talking about? Like, as silly as it sounds, like I remember very clearly being like, oh gosh, I don't... like, you got to file tax at the end of the year. You actually have to know what your cash flow is. There's this thing called cash flow, which I didn't even know what that meant, to be able to pay your taxes, things like that. So definitely I would say business skills along with hiring and it's people management. You're building teams and trying to manage money at the same time.
I have 2 questions. Did you ever, and have you ever experienced the wonderful phenomenon of talking to your accountant who tells you you've made this much money, but you don't know any of it's ever gone?
Oh, yes. I mean, that didn't, luckily...
It's like, there's your profit and loss. I'm like, well, where is it? Like, I haven't seen any of this.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't seen any of this stuff.
Yeah, I'd say that definitely started to creep in, like, toward the end of the fun phase, and then you get into the next phase.
So the second one is people, and I want to put you on the spot. I think I'm going to ask this question at every event, every interview we do. Who's the worst hire you've ever made? What made them so bad?
Well,
In your mind's eye, you don't have to name them.
No.
But I don't want to be sued.
no.
Come on, describe to me the worst hire you've ever made and what made them so bad.
Oh gosh, there's been a lot. Definitely trying to find, not even a manager, I would say this sort of higher level kind of administrative type of person. That was, oh gosh, I think I had, I'm trying to see if I can remember the details. I might have blocked it out of my mind. It's just so bad. This person might have lasted maybe 4 days. Can't believe they lasted that long, but it was a fight over, I want to say like clocking in and out or something like that, or not even a fight, but it was like this concept of, oh wow, I actually need to stay till this time, and it was just mind-boggling. But then it was more the drama that ensued from just this simple conversation, and that the fact that this person couldn't believe they were getting fired because of like the not understanding this concept. That was kind of the most. Then sadly, I've met people. Now I know and recognize these things in the interviews, put it that way. When they got a little, you always taught me twin A, twin B. I try to get that twin B out in the interview as quickly as possible so they don't show up in your office. But that was probably like the craziest, like, is this actually happening? But it's just a funny little things where people are like, it's like, wait, you want me to do that? Like, you want me to actually show up like on time, like in work? And like, it's like there's so many avatars of that. Like,
I mean, we never have any of these issues in our office, do we? Ever? Nowhere. I mean, there's no business in my companies have never had anything like that ever. Yeah. No, that must just be a Boston, like New England thing. Yeah. Where did you come down from? New England. Not true. Oh, were you joking?
Yeah, it's just
it's worse than Detroit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No.
See, he's used to snow day excuses.
Oh.
See, normally in his previous jobs, he could say he was late because it snowed, and now he doesn't have that excuse. It's
how that in Boston.
Yeah.
In Boston.
Oh, they have it. Yeah, they have it.
Now it's too sunny and they can't drive as fast.
Right.
That's the new excuse. He's come down from New York, so he's used to a snow day issue as well. Yeah. But I feel your pain.
Yeah, just those things like that. I remember one time, and this wasn't the worst hire per se, but I'll never forget, like, this person comes to work and like, it was like they literally rolled out of bed and they had like the most wrinkled shirt, dog hair all over. And I'm like, we need to find you like some clothes. Like, you cannot work looking like this. And I'm pretty casual. Like, I go to work like how I look now and sneakers, whatever, leggings, but like, you gotta look a little put together. That wasn't, yeah. And then later on, this is post-COVID, you get all the unemployment claims like right after everyone was trying to look for any possible reason to get unemployment for any job they ever worked. And the same person, I remember reading through, and we had deplorable working conditions. Like, it's just some of the crazy stuff people say and do. And
whoever's watching this now has been put off from hiring. Put it that way. And I think we've done a very big job.
That's better.
Okay, so most important hire. What's the one that you have to get right to get to $1 million?
My operations manager, for sure. And I tried it. I tried it 7 times before I got the right one. So again, don't be scared to hire. But yeah, that was the number one thing.
What have you learned about that? What are you looking for in a really good ops manager now?
Oh, for sure, someone who's got your back. Like, they might challenge you, they might disagree with you, but like at the end of the day, they respect your decision and they've got your back and they support you, and they will kind of get everyone to fall in line, if you will. That's number one for me. And then, taking that emotional burden of some of these little things that we just kind of laughed about, when those multiply, it can get to be, there's a lot of just like emotional kind of silly stuff that you're like, am I really dealing with this? I'm trying to grow a business over here. So, they can take that stuff off, and they just have the bandwidth to deal with it far better than you can, and they're usually better suited for it.
Well, I think they can do it better, and I think the thing with the business owner, my experience has been, you can do everything. The problem is you can do everything, right? And that's the age-old problem for a good business owner, is they can do KPIs, they can do recruitment, they can do marketing, they can do sales, they can do treatment, they can do the vision thing. Good business owners can do all of those things, and that's the problem. the bit that I always find is that when we get a business owner into their lane, which in yours is undoubtedly marketing and sales, a business grows. But I can't be creative when I'm thinking about day-to-day problems, HR, and all of the things that you were talking about with Jen today. It's like, how many HR problems are there? How many contract problems are there? How many people want to go on vacation or sickness or whatever? Like, that's the stuff that business owners shouldn't be dealing with.
Right. And yeah, so like finding someone who had enough, not necessarily experience doing those exact things, but had enough experience that, I knew they could step into these things. If not, they already did them. And then they're just willing to take it on. And it definitely has been game changing for me.
How has the marketing changed at this level now?
Definitely, I still do all those same old email things. I'd say my marketing is got stronger and it's definitely better. I've learned to say more with less, which I think is good. And now we're definitely we have a good market. We have a bigger budget. Like, we spend a lot more money on like Google and Facebook and things like that. We've also brought in, in-person events and workshops as a really good both lead generator and like.
Which is your big one? What works best for your workshops?
We rotate. We just kind of pick the 3 sort of hot topics for us. We rotate between like a back pain and sciatica one, a knee pain one, and then one that's kind of gives us an excuse to talk about the regenerative therapy. So we're still kind of playing around with that one, but like arthritis or, chronic injuries type of thing. So I'm still working on that one a little bit, but all that to say, it used to be back pain, but recently knee pain's been the biggest one. Like that's been our, from January on, that was our biggest masterclass so far.
Yeah.
So
what about the difference of the importance of a system at this level now? So a marketing system.
Yeah, I definitely have a system. It took me a while to get one. So believe it or not, 10 years in, for the first time ever, I actually created a year-long marketing calendar. Mm-hmm. I'm embarrassed to say that it took me this long to do it, but for the first time, 2025, I actually created all the like big events, that we did, and I made my marketing system very happy. So it definitely got just that, allowed us to go faster. And then it kind of shifted where she manages me. So we have she just puts all the stuff I'm supposed to write about or all the things I'm supposed to do on a calendar, which makes my life a lot easier because I'm not also thinking about what we're going to do. It's already been planned. And then our marketing system is such, I create the core piece of content, writing and a video, and then the team, gets it out type of thing. So
how do you see the evolution of wellness then inside of your business and just generally for the future of PT? What's your thoughts on that? Yeah,
so I definitely think you need something besides PT in your business for sure. But wellness is hot right now. That concept of longevity, I think it started even like Tom Brady, obviously, but he kind of got it started.
Well, if you look at generally, you look at footballers like Ronaldo, Messi, and it's obviously my sport, the soccer. These guys are playing into their 40s. It's just LeBron, basketball in their 40s. I think you're entering a phase in life where, and even more so because of social media, we've got more eyeballs on these guys and more scrutiny around what they do and how they did it, and the ice baths and the red light and all of these things. That I think people are starting to pay attention.
And I was definitely like, I don't say against it, but I was like, oh, these are distractions, etc. But then when you really start to take a look and you put it all together for the right avatar and it fits into your business vision, then it definitely works. And we recently brought on regenerative therapy, shockwave, EMTT, things like that, and it's blown up.
I think the first 0 to 300, it probably is a distraction, right? Yeah. So if you're really breaking this down, the first 0 to 300, there's all those things, the prices, can you sell, can you handle objections, can you sell packages, pick your perfect patient. That is a testing kind of ground to get to the next phase, which your marketing system kicks in, your marketing message becomes more and more important. And if you've got that right, the next step for most of your patients is to buy other things from you because they want to be the way I try to explain it, they want to be well-rounded in their health. It isn't just about less back pain. It's about feeling a certain way, looking a certain way now. I think people are so conscious of what they look like. It's stunning. And that's the game to be into, that these things, these products, these services, your patients, they want to move well, they want to feel well, they want to think well, they want the whole bigger picture of their spectrum. What's the one that you have the most success with of all of your other products?
I mean, as far as wellness goes, our regenerative therapy. So I used to try it. So I kind of had this idea of this wellness thing, even from when I started. Our name is CJ Physical Therapy and Pilates. So but I kind of went about it the wrong way. I kind of went wellness Pilates first, and sort of PT was sort of like there, and then I switched it. Then it was like PT's our main thing, which it should be. Leaning into Pilates, but we're phasing that out, and now we brought in regenerative therapy. It's just the ROI on it is just so much better. Like you can charge more for it, and there's more availability of people to do it, and our clients love it, and it just goes better. Like, not everybody wants to do Pilates. We can pretty much, everyone can do regenerative therapy, and they love it, and we're doing really well with it.
Good. What do you enjoy most about being a business owner?
Oh gosh, I mean, what do I enjoy most?
I think, from what I know, you seem to love it.
I do love it. I do.
Even the bad stuff.
Even the bad stuff. I love it. The thing I love most is I love creating, and I really do love kind of coming up with this thing, and then I love helping, from the client perspective, I love helping people maybe see something they couldn't see, and like being like, I can benefit from this, and it actually will change my life. So from that perspective, I love that. And it's just fun to see kind of what limits you can kind of explore and push, if you will. I do love developing the team. I really do love that piece of it. When you get the right team members, and you get someone, even just like clients, you get a team member who sort of thinks this way, and then you kind of open up their eyes and open up their world a little bit. And my team will often say they cannot look at customer service in the same way after working with us. They'll come in and they'll tell us funny stories. They'll get frustrated. I can't believe I had this experience. And then ultimately it took me, the freedom that running a business allows. I mean, that's not necessarily why, it's why I got into it really, but it took me a while to get there. But just the freedom I have now after kind of all that work, and I'm still working, of course, but just, I don't know, just being able to kind of call the shots a little bit, but not in this cavalier way. I don't know. That's what I loved.
Last question. What about the future? What's the big vision?
Yes. So the big vision for me is definitely exploring this idea of what's beyond just quote PT, and what does a wellness division look like, for me and my business? How can we help people beyond what we're doing now in ways that I kind of hadn't really imagined before. So that's definitely the next phase. I think there's a market for it. It excites me. I love, who doesn't love maybe there are people out there, but who doesn't love making people, feel good and feel better and better than they thought they could feel. Yeah. So definitely that's the vision of where this business is going, I think, thanks to your help.
Good. It's fantastic. What a story, by the way. It's amazing. An incredible story, I think, of all of the people that have come through my world. And, I've been lucky enough to not just help, but to get to know. I think yours is an incredible story, both personally and any challenges that you've ever had there, you've overcome, and any challenges that you've had in the business, you've overcome. And I think you've probably gone and exceeded what you might have thought was possible when you first started.
Oh, for sure. I never even thought I'd get to a million dollar business, and now we're talking $2.5 million. So that's pretty wild, but exciting at the same time. And I actually have the confidence, and I know I've got the skills to do it, and it's just a matter of.
It's a testament to character and perseverance. As much as we need cash flow, we need marketing, we need systems and AI and all of this good stuff. What we really need fundamentally is perseverance through the bad times and the days that are not quite perfect, and a strength of character to deal with the pushback, the staff that may not have gone according to plan, the patients that criticize, the price rises or whatever. We need all of that in order to be as successful as you are today. And I think it's amazing. You've done fantastic.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, this is Paul Gough. Thanks for watching. If you like my content, be sure to subscribe to the channel. And if you're looking for even more, be sure to head over to Amazon and you can find my 7 best-selling books for physical therapists in private practice. Head over to Amazon and find me now.